Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to dive into a problem I think we've all faced, right? Why is it that our most important conversations, the big ones, about culture, science, even consciousness, why do they so often feel like they're just going nowhere?
And in this quote from our source material, man, it just perfectly captures that feeling, doesn't it? It's like we're all in the same dark room, but our flashlights are all pointed at different things. So we end up just yelling at each other about the different shadows we're seeing.
All right, so let's start by digging into this problem. It's that feeling, the one where it seems like we're all using the exact same words, but somehow we're speaking completely different languages. And it just leads to conversations that go nowhere, just round and round in circles.
Okay, to really see how this works in practice, we're going to look at one of the biggest, most tangled up debates there is, the whole nature of consciousness. It is the perfect example of a conversation that just gets stuck in this self-defeating loop.
So, check this out. Let's take a classic question from this debate, right? Is a rock conscious? Now, a really common answer you'll hear is, no, of course not. It lacks awareness. But hold on a second. What does awareness even mean there? The argument from the source is that we're basically just using it as another word for consciousness, and that, well, it gets us absolutely nowhere.
And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. This is the trap. You're trying to define a mystery with another mystery. It creates this closed loop where no new understanding can ever get in. The conversation is just trapped in a cycle that literally feeds on itself. It's wild.
So, the big question is, how do we break out of these endless, frustrating circles? Well, the source material suggests a solution that's kind of radical, but at the same time, it's incredibly simple. It's something it calls a terms treaty.
The core idea is actually super simple. Before we even start to build an argument about anything, we have to agree on what our most important words mean. Think of it like this. We're agreeing on what the bricks are before we try to build a house. It's about creating a shared toolkit, a shared set of blueprints, so we know we're all building the same thing.
All right, so let's actually look at what this foundational lexicon might look like. This is where it gets really interesting. The proposal is to start with some of the most, loaded words out there and just give them these powerfully simple functional definitions. Okay, first up, awareness, a ready state to receive information. Now notice what this does. It completely strips away all the mystery, all the baggage. In this system, awareness isn't some, magical soul stuff. It's just an operational state. It's like a computer that's turned on and waiting for input. A cat is aware because its senses are actively pulling the room. And hey, even a rock is aware in its own way. It's in a ready state to receive information, like heat from the sun. All right, next up is the word being, and it gets the exact same treatment, the state of existing. That's it. All that heavy philosophical baggage, gone. According to this idea, if something exists, a person, a rock, even an idea, it is a being. Boom. Simple. And what this does is it creates this incredibly inclusive foundation for us to even start talking.
And what about realize? To cause to become real. This one is so cool because it reclaims the real power of the word. See, to realize something isn't just about having a thought pop into your head. No, it's the act of making something real. You take an idea that's just in your imagination, and through your actions, you cause it to become a part of physical reality. You literally realize a clean kitchen from a dirty one.
Okay, but here's the thing, and this might be the most surprising part of the whole idea. The point of this lexicon, it isn't to force everyone into one single, correct way of seeing the world. Not at all. In fact, it's designed to do the exact opposite.
Yeah, this framework is built on one core idea, and the quote says it all. It doesn't matter what lens you're looking through, you're still looking at the same fucking reality. All these different perspectives are they're just different tools for looking at the very same thing. So the fundamental point here is that it doesn't matter if you're using the lens of math or physics or art or even religion. Each one is a perfectly valid way to describe reality. The point isn't to fight over which lens is the best one. The point is just to agree that there's a reality there, that the light exists in the first place and we're all looking at it.
Now, this whole approach, it's not just some abstract thought experiment. The source material actually presents it as a truly transformative idea, an idea that's so powerful it's contagious. It spreads, kind of like a virus, but, a good one.
And what's fascinating is how the source kind of flips the script on phrases like woke mind virus. It ironically reclaims that idea and says, no, this level of clarity, this is the real virus. This is the real awakening. And once it hits you, once you see it, you can't unknow it. You just can't go back to how you saw things before.
And maybe that explains why some people might resist this way of thinking so hard. Because it's not just about changing your mind or adopting a new opinion, right? It's a fundamental change to your entire mental operating system. The argument is that people don't reject these ideas because they're wrong, they reject them because they're scared of what it means to accept them. They treat the idea itself like it's a biohazard.
And that really brings us to the final, powerful takeaway of this whole thing. It all comes down to this one question. If our words were tools instead of weapons, what could we actually build together? If we could just stop fighting over definitions and start using them to create shared meaning, just imagine the conversations we could finally start having.